Good morning. Hello to all of you present in the sanctuary and those online at the UUFVB or Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Vero Beach. I am Angie Love. My pronouns are she, hers, and for those who may not be able to see me, I am a middle-aged white woman with long wild hair, some blonde, some gray, green eyes, a fierce black dress, and some leopard print on my shoes. So whether you are young or old, gay or straight, or identify in some other beautiful way, whether you're on top of the world or burdened with the worries of the world, and there are many, whether you are gathered here or joining us from cyberspace, we embrace you just as you are. And that's one of the things I love here about the UU is that everyone can feel welcome. I love our focus on social justice and trying to do good in this world and take care of our big, beautiful blue planet. I also love the fact that I can be here with my fiance, Angelique, and that our love is not just tolerated, but celebrated. So, if you are visiting for the first time, we warmly welcome you and invite you to join us for coffee hour after the service. Just follow the crowd to the fellowship hall in that direction. If you want to, you can take a red mug and we'll know that you're our guest, so then you can get lots of friendly people coming to say hi and giving you the UU welcome. As a reminder, everyone please silence your phones, beepers, and meta glasses. Okay.
Well, good morning. I have two microphones, so that's part of the issue. I just wanted to come up and say, some of y'all were here before when Alex was here, but Alex, she's a beautiful friend of mine. She was the music director at UU Miami, and I officiated at her wedding, and she's just, oh yeah, she's a fabulous person. She's going to share with us some beautiful music today and lead us in some hymns. And she's getting ready to go on her next adventure with her partner Carly to Washington, D.C. And there are going to be two doctors in the family then, right? So I just wanted to let you know that she was here. She's so special to me, and thank you for coming.
Now we're going to have the greeting of each other. So look around. Notice who is here. Who do you know well? Who do you not know at all? Now I invite you to greet one another and make a point to greet those you don't know or don't know well. Oh, look at you and your beard. Looking so cute. I'm good. How you doing? Got back from vacation. Really?
Quite a responsibility.
We are different, you and I, yet together fates entwine. Spirit filled with grace. Bring your fullness, I'll bring mine, and together we will shine. Together we'll build a world where there's room for all to be. A world where we'll live our lives liberated, strong and free. This glorious future, build it now with me.
It is our tradition to light a chalice at the beginning of our service and say a few words together that ground us and prepare us for the service. So if you'll join me as we come together to meet this moment, we honor where we have been, where we are, and where we are going. Let us listen to other Unitarian Universalists who might help us reflect on our own paths.
Something I would always tell the congregation at UU Miami, where I worked with Reverend Tom for 4 years, is that I am here to sing. You are here to sang and to be the choir. So please stand, embody your spirit, and join us in our first hymn this morning, which is number 1008, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our heart stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place.
Nice, nice. Well, I have to tell you, I always find it interesting going to General Assembly. It's our Unitarian Universalist Association annual meeting. I get to meet thousands of Unitarian Universalists from all over the world. This year, the annual meeting was virtual, Next year, it'll be both virtual and in person. So if any of you are interested in joining me and whoever would like to go, I think it's fantastic, wonderful, interesting place to be. Oh, it's San Diego next year. Yeah. And, you know, when you go to General Assembly, you kind of get the state of our religion. You know, how things are, where things are going, what people are talking about. What you'll hear today during this service is some music, hymns, stories, reflections that give you a taste for what it's like to attend a General Assembly. And hear a little bit about where our religion is right now. So before we go any further today, and this is going to be a sort of a time for all ages, this is a little video that I saw at General Assembly. It's called The Get Back Coach. So if you didn't know, and I didn't know, in professional football, a get-back coach is someone who makes sure that the players on the bench, as well as the coaches, particularly the coaches, don't get on the field while the play is going on, and make sure that the people on the sidelines don't get in the way of the referees. So they're always moving them back throughout this process. You can look it up online, it really exists. You know, if they are not there, things can happen. A penalty, they could lose it down, they might even lose a game if somebody is on the field when they're not supposed to be. So why do you think someone at a religious workshop would spend time talking about a get-back coach? Well, I'm going to give you what they said, and then I'm going to share with you some of my ideas. What they said at this workshop was that, let's pretend for a moment that you're attending a rally or a protest, and the police are coming down the line and pushing people back. And you notice one of the people from this congregation, and maybe they're holding up their sign and they don't see the policeman coming down the line, or maybe they're videotaping what's going on at the protest. You know, just not paying attention to what's going on around them. They might even be singing a protest song, who knows? You could gently come up behind them and just pull them back. Help them not get in the way of the police to some needless confrontation that might happen. Okay. Well, I thought that's interesting. You spent a lot of time talking about the get back coach, and that sounds interesting. But you know, when I thought about this get back coach thing, I thought, man, there's a lot of ways this could be useful to members of our congregation. One of the ways, let's say that somebody in our congregation is working way too hard. I mean, they're on 5 committees, and they're always there helping out at the front desk, and maybe they're even working in the gift shop. You know, they're just all over the place. Well, you might go up to them and say to them, you know, I'm just trying to be your get back coach here. Perhaps you could do a little less. You know, I don't want you to burn out. And even better, you might say to them, you know, you have a lot on your plate. maybe I could take some off that plate for you and help you out. Do some of the things that you're doing so that you don't get burned out. That's another way we could be a get-back coach to each other. Another way that we could be a get-back coach to each other is we have a covenant. How many of you have read the covenant? Oh, there's a lot of you. If you haven't, if you go out those double doors to your right, it's right there. And many of you have signed it. And if you're a member here or a friend and you've been coming for a while and you want to sign it, please go and read it and sign it. But let's say that someone steps out of covenant. You might be a get-back coach by saying to them, well, I just noticed that you were out of covenant. You said something or you've done something that maybe has hurt somebody else. Could you step back from that? Take a look at that. Maybe you could apologize. Maybe you could figure out how not to do it next time. But we are all get-back coaches to one another, trying to help each other out, to be the best people we can be to each other, and to support each other, and to help each other. So that's how we can be a get-back coach to each other. Now, these are not all the ways that you can be get-back coaches to each other. But it's a few. And you might even think of new and different ways. If you come up with another way, we might be a good get-back coach to someone here, to somebody that we love and care about. You might tell me, and I'll mention it up here some Sunday morning and say, there are many ways that we can help one another, support one another, care for one another, and be good get-back coaches to each other. Thank you. Oh, I'm supposed to stay up here. Now, I'm going to light this candle. I haven't been around for a while, a few weeks, but in my heart, each Sunday morning, I think about this candle for peace. I see so much going on in the world that is not peaceful right now. All over in Ukraine and the Middle East, and my hope for peace in the world, and my hope for peace between people, and trying to hold peace in my heart always seems a little challenging during these times. And so when I light this candle, I hope you see it and are reminded that this community supports peace in whatever form that means for you, in your heart, in the world, and whatever you can do to promote peace. Perhaps this will be a reminder, for we need peace more than ever right now. Would you go do that? Now, my friends, let us open ourselves up to acknowledge that we come here together with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs on our hearts. There's water here in these bowls. Water is the very sustenance of life. Water can buoy you up, nourish, cleanse, and replenish you. It is a source of life which creates beauty and the very making of tears. This community, like water, is a sustenance of our lives, especially when we can remember our sacred obligation to buoy each other up in times of sadness, to nourish one another in times of want, to cleanse one another with acts of kindness and generosity, and to replenish one another when our hearts are weary and worn. Today, with this water, we are reminded visually of our sacred obligation to this, our beloved community. Now, Angela will add some water for the tears. Oh, salt. Salt to the water, that's right. For the tears that have fallen this week. May we be reminded that there are those among us in pain so that we can be tender with one another. We don't know what is held in the silent sanctuaries of one another's hearts. For those uplifting moments when we were touched by the bounty and beauty of nature, by a hug or a smile, by the caring act of friendship, Angela will place some flowers to remind us of the beauty and joy that surrounds us. It is so easy to forget about that in these times, but we need to remember. In a moment, you will have an opportunity to add a pebble to one of these bowls of water for a joy or sorrow that you have this week. But first, would you add a pebble for those who are online, just so that they too can be with us and we too can hold in our hearts what they're going through in their lives? And if some of you would prefer Angela to put a pebble in the water for you, if you would raise your hands, she would be very happy to do that. All right. Now, those of you who wish to and find it meaningful, you may now come forward and place a pebble in our water. May all that we offer one another keep us connected and blessed within this hour and the week ahead. May it be so. Amen.
Now we have the opportunity to express our gratitude and commitment by sharing our financial resources. To contribute to the fellowship, please place your offering in an envelope found in the back of your pews, or you can donate to the UUFEB by clicking on the QR code with your phone. It's in there. But our offering today also serves another purpose, that of supporting an organization that addresses the needs of the underserved in our community. That is the purpose of our Sunday Fund, one of the congregation's major social justice outreach efforts. This is going towards the Treasure Coast Girls Coalition today. They educate, elevate, and empower economically challenged girls from fragile communities age 9 to 18. They provide tutoring, mentoring, leadership retreats, technology training, and culinary arts classes. As we now receive the offering, let's do so generously and gratefully.
That was fabulous. During this time of prayer or meditation or reflection, I'm going to invite you to embody a prayer. I'm going to tell you how many times I heard embodiment at General Assembly. You know, I'd be rich right now if I asked for a nickel. So the concept of embodiment was frequently mentioned. Spiritual embodiment refers to how physical bodies and sensory experiences can act as a vessel for powerful and grounding rituals, meditations, prayers, even for social justice. So what I'm going to invite you to do today is to combine a body movement with the message of a prayer, and notice after it's over, don't pay attention while you're doing it, after it's over, how embodying the prayer, bringing this physical influence into the prayer, changes the experience. Okay. So the prayer I'm going to use today was written by 15th century Indian mystic Kabir, who's claimed by both Hindus and Muslims. And what I'm going to ask you is I'm going to read a line, I'll hit the chime, and I'll ask you, go ahead and put up the next slide if you would, to clap, clap, stomp, stomp. Okay? So I'm going to hit the chime and let's see how well you do it. Okay, ready? Perfect. Okay. So, I invite you to find a comfortable position. You might take a deep, slow breath. You might close your eyes or allow your eyelids to rest. To center yourself in your body, to feel the fullness of your body as we begin this time of prayer or meditation. Dance, my heart. Dance today with joy. The strains of love fill the days and nights with music. And the world is listening to its melodies. Mad with joy, life and death dance the rhythms of this music. The hills and the sea, the earth, all dance. The world of people's dances with laughter and tears. Why put on the robe of the monk and live aloof from the world in a lonely place? Behold, my heart dances in the delight of 100 arts. And the Creator is well pleased. Amen.
We are living neath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. I am alone and I am searching, hungering for answers in my time. I am balanced at the brink of wisdom. I'm impatient to receive a sign. I move forward with my senses open. Imperfection, it be my crime. In humility I will listen. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living neath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We could worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side.
Good morning. I'm Betty Walker. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a smallish elder woman with light skin and very short gray hair. And I'm wearing a top that's mostly gray with a splash of red. This was my 9th UUA General Assembly. The first was in 2017 at New Orleans, where we elected Susan Frederick Gray to be our first female president. And I went again the next year to Kansas City. In those days, GA was completely on site, and it was exciting to see all the pageantry and be among thousands of people listening to speeches and reports and breaking for a song whenever we've been sitting too long. Imagine singing, swaying, and clapping with 3,000 other people. Of course, the main reason for being there was to participate in the election and the discussion and voting on issues, but there was also the opportunity to view exhibits, visit the In Spirit bookstore, and take part in workshops that were exciting and inspiring, not to mention the pleasure of meeting UUs from all over the world. And there was ample opportunity for sightseeing and sampling the local cuisine. But the UU realized that attending in person was too expensive for many people. In fact, I was lucky my congregation at that time had a scholarship fund that helped me pay for all of the transportation and the hotel and all the meals and so on that added to the fees, registration fees. So the UUA decided to have virtual GA on alternate years with the option of participating from home, even when the assembly was held in person in a huge meeting hall. Ever since, I've attended and served as a delegate from my bedroom office computer. GA 2026 brought some innovations in format. There were options to attend at one of several satellite locations or to attend at the production site. Also, whereas previous assemblies have been held over one long weekend, this year it ran for 8 days, with all the business being and voting taking place on the first 3 days, and celebratory events and speakers on the following weekend, culminating with the Sunday worship service. During the 3 days in between, there were workshops and affinity meetings, and I'm sorry to say I missed most of those because I was taking care of housework, grocery shopping, and other business at home. Fortunately, almost everything was recorded and will be available for viewing until Labor Day, so I have the rest of the summer to catch up on things I missed. Over the years, there's been a considerable amount of drama at GA, especially around issues of change. A surprising number of people felt that the UUA board was handing down edicts that their congregations weren't ready for. In fact, one of the challenge candidates for the board one year suggested that people who wanted those changes ought to just go somewhere else and start their own church. Actually, she said that. In the end, this was a motivator for some of the challenges to board positions, as I said. This was especially true around the preliminary votes in 2023 and 2024 on Article 2 of the bylaws, or what we now know as our 6 values. In 2023, we voted on the proposed new language of Article 2 and also a number of possible amendments, not all of which passed. At GA 2024, I had intended to speak in favor of the new version, and I had my speech written and rehearsed and timed, but so many people wanted to speak on both sides that the time ran out before they got to me. Even though the task force had been holding discussions with hundreds of UUs all over the country for 4 years, the debate at GA on those 2 years suggested that too many congregations had not engaged at all and thought that something important was being lost in the change. Nevertheless, the article passed with a pro vote of over 80%. This year, GA was blessedly calm, although there were a contested board position and some issues that were vigorously debated. The two candidates for the board were both eminently qualified, and I sort of felt it was too bad we couldn't have them both. Voting was a hard decision. A perennial feature of GA is discussing and voting on actions of immediate witness, or AIWs. An AIW, which can be proposed by an individual or a group, is a statement about a significant action, event, or development in the world that necessitates immediate engagement and action among UU member organizations and groups. It expresses the conscience and carries the authority of the delegates at the GA at which it is passed, but does not carry the full authority of the UUA. That would require a 2-year study leading to a UUA statement of conscience. The UUA website outlines the procedures and timelines for submitting an AIW and strongly recommends that proposers be in communication and partnership with any established groups already addressing the issue. This turned out to be the basis of the most spirited discussion of the weekend. The discussion monitors are very fair, making sure to alternate pro and con speakers, but they are also very strict about enforcing the time limits on speakers in order to allow as many people as possible to participate. Each person gets exactly 2 minutes and 15 seconds to speak, including introducing and describing themselves. A couple of people who were not really well prepared were cut off in mid-sentence. A proposal to demonstrate in solidarity with people on hunger strike over conditions at the Delaney Hall Detention Center in New Jersey was not affirmed, not out of lack of sympathy with the cause, but because the proposing group had not coordinated their proposal for action with the organizers of the original and ongoing demonstration, which might have caused difficulties for them. Later, a responsive resolution was passed, reaffirming our commitment to immigrant justice and to relationally grounded organizing and solidarity work, allowing for a coordinated effort at Delaney Hall. Another AIW was affirmed, opposing governmental rollbacks to environmental protections, public lands rules, and the 2009 EPA endangerment finding regarding greenhouse gases. Rev Tom tells me that the UUFBB could have been entitled to 6 delegates this year. And while the experience was satisfying for me, being able to share it with others would have made it much better. I feel strongly that we should really be more engaged with the UUA at both the regional and the national levels. Most of us today are probably planning to vote in the primary election next month, right? And in the midterms in November. We want our voices to be heard in the governance of our country and our state. Shouldn't we also participate in the governance of the national body that we call our spiritual home? If the registration fee is too expensive, there's even an option to attend the business sessions only, engage in the discussions, and vote without paying a fee. On the other hand, if you can afford the trip, it's nice to know, as Rev. Tom mentioned, that GA 2027 will be in San Diego, a great place to visit. And, as I mentioned earlier, there will be time for sightseeing. Next year, I hope we can prepare in advance for the issues that will be addressed and send a full complement of delegates to GA. Let's just do it.
Thank you, Betty. So this is a picture of our current president of the Unitarian Universalist Association, the Reverend Sophia Betancourt. She not only comes and talks to the people at General Assembly and all, but I am fortunate that I'm a minister, because she comes and talks exclusively to the ministers who are gathered at GA, and really we have a more personal interaction with her. And so when we got together with her, she shared with us what was really on her heart. And so what she told us was that she viewed her role not as a general president of the Unitarian Universalist Association, but as a developmental president. What does that mean? Well, a developmental minister is someone who goes into a congregation with some specific goals in mind, mostly trying to get help to help a congregation on specific issues that are keeping them from growing in one way or another. They might be needing to grow spiritually, or grow in their work in the world, or growing in healthy connections with one another, or growing in more effective governance, or even growing in numbers. Betancourt is looking at how the UUA can better meet the moment we find ourselves in as a denomination that can support and aid all of our congregations. She's calling all congregations to consider how they meet this moment. How they meet this moment in worship, in religious education, in social justice, in governance, in every way. And I'm not just talking about the political moment, but the moment that we live in, 2026. What is it we need to do that may be different now than maybe we did 10, 15, 20 years ago as a Unitarian Universalist congregation? She's asking us to be open to change. Change in how we do almost anything and everything. How we deal with the political divisiveness, how we deal with the chronic social isolation we're seeing in so many people, how we deal with living in a white supremacist culture that pervades everything that we do. He wants us to be fluid and flexible, to not love or hate the moment we live in, and to move beyond the binary, the either or, to embrace this complicated world that we live in. And she encourages us strongly to not have to be perfect in making any of these changes. Part of that perfection she worries about is the infighting that she sees in many congregations. Struggles with language of reverence. Some people wanting to hear it, some people it causes them discomfort. Struggles with doing things the same way we've always done them, instead of looking at maybe new ways of leadership, governance, of anything. He just doesn't want us fighting as we try to embrace new and different ways of doing things. These skirmishes, as she calls them, kind of get in our way. She wants us to work shoulder to shoulder, giving each other a little grace and understanding as we experiment and explore new ways of doing church. One other thing she mentioned, that in this challenging time we live in, it's likely that our hearts will be broken by something that happens at General Assembly, within Unitarian Universalism, or even in our own fellowship. And we might wonder when our heart is broken if this is still the place that can meet our spiritual, relational, and social justice needs. I can tell you from my own experience that my heart has been broken a number of times. And I have chosen to stay a Unitarian Universalist, a minister in Unitarian Universalism, and engaged with whatever congregation that I'm part of. It can be challenging. You could be wondering whether to come back or not after your heart is broken. I've chosen to come back because this faith is so important to me, too meaningful to me to let a heartbreak keep me away. And there's always something that I learn going through a heartbreak. And most often, when my heart is broken, I find there's something I need to do in my own behavior or in helping the congregation or Unitarian Universalism or our General Assembly to help people. Sometimes help people stay engaged. These were the two really most powerful messages that I heard from her while I was there. It really touched me. I will tell you that I attended also a lot of workshops and exposed to many ideas that I'll bring to you all over the next year. And if you wonder more specifically about the state of our association, and you want to come and talk to me about that, I'd be happy to do it anytime. So I'm not going to share with you everything about every workshop that I attended today. I had to choose one. And so I chose to tell you about the Where Lecture. It's a yearly lecture at General Assembly that was hosted by such speakers as Martin Luther King Jr., Kurt Vonnegut, Dr. Ibram X. Kendi, Stacey Abrams, Krista Tippett, Cornel West, Karen Armstrong, and so many others in its 104-year history. This year, the speaker was Episcopal Minister, the Right Reverend Miriam Edgar Buddy. You might remember her. She had her sort of moment of fame when she presided over the inauguration worship service. She directly addressed the president, whose name I will not mention. During the inaugural prayer, she urged him to show mercy to the vulnerable, to realize that people are frightened, that gay, lesbian, and transgender children and adults are frightened, that undocumented workers and immigrants are afraid of family separation. She spoke truth to power. Now, I'd say that the power's response wasn't as positive or accepting. But she did not hesitate to speak the truth. And she went on during this General Assembly to ask us as Unitarian Universalists, what are we called to do right now? She talked about Unitarian Universalists having a history of social justice work, which she encouraged us to continue. She said we were always the first ones to show up when there was a social justice issue needing attention. And she hopes that we will share our willingness and our strength with others who will also want to get involved in some of the social justice issues in our world. She said, to live as if the change we are working for already exists. And to not allow our anger and frustration over the problems in this country to fill us with contempt. He urged us in this time of easy contempt to understand that contempt cannot drive out contempt. Only dignity can do that. She said, if you don't intentionally embrace dignity, what can happen is that the contempt we see around us will begin to seep into our hearts, into our actions, and into our words. She calls us to do our work, all our work for the world with dignity. To honor and respect the intrinsic worthiness belonging to every single person. In essence, she calls us to embody the first principle of Unitarian Universalism, to affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every person. And she didn't just ask us to do that. She offered us a tool to do self-assessment and to look at the world around us and to see if people are more focused on contempt or dignity. It's called the Dignity Index. The Dignity Index is an 8-point scale used to measure the level of contempt or dignity in spoken or written language. Developed in partnership with the University of Utah, it aims to ease political and social divisions by scoring the words people use rather than judging the individuals themselves. Let me say that again. By scoring the words people use rather than judging the individuals themselves. Levels 1 through 4 reflect divisive, dehumanizing, or condescending language where the opposing side is viewed as evil or less than human. Levels 5 through 8 are the dignity side and reflects language grounded in respect, open-mindedness, and curiosity, with the highest level showing inherent worthiness for everyone, even in the midst of disagreements. I'm going to share the scale with you. I know you can't read all of that probably, but I'll read it to you. So it goes from 1 to 4 on the contempt side. So these are the levels. And I want you to think about, have you heard either yourself saying this, or maybe it's going on, you've heard this in your mind, or maybe you've heard someone else use some of these words. The first level, which is the most contemptuous, is they're not even human. It's our moral duty to destroy them before they destroy us. Level 2, these people are evil and they're going to ruin our country if we let them. It's us or them. Level 3, we're good. We're the good people and they're the bad. Level 4, we're better than those people. They don't really belong. They're not one of us. And then we move into the dignity section. Level 5. The other side has the right to be here and a right to be heard. It's their country too. We always talk, number 6, we always talk to the other side, searching for the values and interests we share. Number 7, we fully engage with the other side, discussing even values and interests we don't share, open to admitting mistakes and changing our minds. And number 8, each one of us is born with inherent worthiness. So we treat everyone with dignity, no matter what. She invited us to protest with dignity, respond to others, all others with dignity, to hold dignity as central to all we do to make the world a better place. The Reverend Miriam ended with these thoughts. Don't get frustrated by the slow movement of change. We can only move mountains one stone at a time. No one is outside the circle of love. We must seek the spark of the divine in everyone. We must be hope bearers for those who are younger than ourselves and the wind under the sails of those who need. We cannot give in to cynicism. We must be light and hope if change, true, lasting change, is going to happen. She asked us to risk being honest with people we do not know and who believe differently than we do. She urged us to include in our lives talking to new people, people different from ourselves, and to practice forgiveness every day, especially toward those we have difficulty forgiving. Finally, she said, we must let ourselves be disciplined by our love if we are to change the world. May love's power be fierce, and may we be open more fully to its potential. Amen.
Thank you very much for having me this morning as your guest. I am always feels as though I'm reborn every time I step foot into a UU congregation. As I prepare to leave the state of Florida for only the second time in my entire life and live outside of the state, I feel much better as a born and raised Floridian. I feel much better knowing that there are UUs spread across the state, especially this one right here. Our closing hymn today is number 1017, Building a New Way. Please feel free to stand and body your spirit and sing along. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hate and greed and jealousy. We are working to be free. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. start with love, that is the seed. We can feed our every need. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, this world will die. Peace and freedom is our cry.
No one and nothing, no administration, no politician, no one and nothing can take our ability away to love other people and to love our planet and to love all creation. Love. Love is what grounds our faith, inspires our fellowship, and is at the center of our being. If we allow ourselves to be disciplined by love, we will change the world. Amen.